Good day, glorious people. It's Tara here, and today's video is for you if you are an empath or highly sensitive person, as I'm going to be sharing with you ways that you can cultivate calm in your life. So why is this even a thing, and why am I speaking in particular to you empaths and highly sensitive people? Quite simply, the majority of my clients are highly sensitive beings, and it's something I resonate with, being an empath and highly sensitive person myself. And this means that we can find it harder to experience calm, I believe, because we are so bombarded. Our senses are directly linked in with our central nervous system that is often working on overtime when we have these superpowers of these sensitive qualities within us. But unless we then find ways and strategies for us to turn off the bombardment of this sensory information, we can very easily start to be overwhelmed and drained and exhausted and depleted. And when we're in those places, it's no surprise that we are not at our best, that we are not feeling that we are our happiest, healthiest version of ourselves, because quite frankly, we're not. So this is for you, like I say, if you would class yourself as being an empath or highly sensitive person, which most of you tuned into this channel, or if you resonate with me, probably are going to be to some degree or another. And it's going to be, we're going to be starting this journey of getting curious about what calm can look, sound and feel like for us, where we can experience it, and to know what true calm is as well, because I do think that there's a difference between being calm and true calm, and then how you can go about cultivating and creating more calm in your life. So, what is calm? Well, calm is, according to the dictionary, and I love going to the dictionary for some research or as a starting place for research. The dictionary defines calm as peaceful, quiet, without worry, and without hurried movement or noise. Now let that just sink in for a moment. I think a lot of us would agree that those things are calming. But here's a couple of things that I invite you to consider. First things first. There are sweeping statements that I think many of us would agree with. Things, there's kind of a joint unity on things that we may find calming. But that our experience of calm, like our experience of being an empath or highly sensitive person, is unique to each of us. It's as individual as our fingerprint. And so as we go through our conversation today, I really want you to bear that in mind, that our experience is unique to us, and that it's so incredibly helpful to find out what your version of calm feels like in your body, and then what are the spaces, places and people that help you experience your calm, where you can be in this true sense of calm. Now, when I talk about this true sense of calm, for me, I observe this in two ways. Well, I observe it in one way, but with two different effects. As empaths, we naturally have an aura, a feeling around us that many people find very calming and safe and are magnetized to that part of us. And so I think for many empaths, there is this outward look of, or appearance or vibration or feel of being very calm and feeling very safe for others. What I know through working with many people is that often there's a different inner landscape going on. So this external serene and calm is very different to a lot of the turbulence that can be being experienced on the inside, the inner part of our beings. And for me, the idea of this true calm is this marriage between the two, is this harmonious inner landscape and outer landscape, and that the calm is experienced in both of those realms. I mean, have you ever been around somebody who is truly calm? I haven't, but if I'm honest, I think this is probably more rare than we think that it is. But it is a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Somebody who is truly calm has this wonderful radiance to them. And I can witness them as being this like magnetic being that is radiant and has people magnetized and drawn to their energy. They really are very powerful, a person who has come into that true calm. And I believe this because when you're in that true calm, you've got a lot more awareness that's going on. And with that awareness and presence, then means that you've got greater availability of choice and a true connection in with what may be needed in each moment and how you show up in each moment. It's a very, like I say, it's a very powerful place to be, and it's a very radiant place to be. So as I record this video, we are in Mental Health Week, Mental Health Awareness Week. And one of the things that's been spoken about a lot is the presence of nature. And that makes sense, doesn't it? That nature is so supportive to our health and well-being, because ultimately, again, one of our natural states when we are in a very balanced state within our mind, within our mental health and well-being, can be calmness. And we look to spaces, places and people, like I said, that can help support that. And Mother Nature is such a beautiful tonic. She has these wonderful gifts of birdsong, of sunshine, of warmth, certainly at the moment, right the way through to just walking on her earth feels very grounding, feels very balancing. And many people will say that after going for a walk in nature, that they feel so much calmer, that they feel so much more at ease. And I think for us as empaths, it's really important to have these places where we can go and retreat to, where there are less people, where there are less electromagnetic stress and radiation and cars and electronics and all these things that we can find so loud and so overstimulating as we just get bombarded by these things. So I certainly can see the role that nature plays, not only with our mental health and well-being, but for us as empaths. I mean, I'd be intrigued to hear, what does that sound like to you? Does that resonate? How do you feel after spending time in nature? What impact does that have on you and how you feel, both inside as well as outside? And I'm going to say something that's also going to contradict some of this completely. When I was thinking about those definitions of calm and needing to have this peaceful, tranquil, free from worry time, I was thinking about an experience that I had in Thailand. So a few years ago, me and hubby found ourselves in we booked a holiday and went to Thailand. And I'd never been there before. We were on the first full day of our trip in Bangkok. Now, for anybody who has been to Bangkok, you will know that that is not only a massive city, but is full on in every way. The noises, the sounds, the stimulation. I mean, it is a noisy, smelly, vibrant city with lots going on everywhere. And we got on our first tuk-tuk, and this guy, you know, when you first get on a tuk-tuk and start joining the traffic and the flow around the city, wow, every part of me was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna die. It's chaotic. But then you start to realize that this guy has lived in the city all his life. He knows this city. He knows the way how the vibe works and flows. And then something came over me, which was this real deep sense of inner calm, inner peace, if you like, where I got this really strong sensation that I was exactly where I was meant to be at that moment in time. Like I was supposed to be in the back of that tuk-tuk with my beloved in the Bangkok, going around the city. Everything was absolutely as it should be. And that I found really calming. So although my outer world was quite chaotic and, you know, I was on a heightened state of alert because there was so much going on, inwardly, I had transitioned somehow into this place, into this state of feeling a deep inner calm that came from this deep knowing that I was exactly where I was meant to be. So sometimes it's not having the outward calm and the inner turbulent. Actually, it can be a role reversal of that. I mean, is that true? Is that true for you? Have you ever experienced that too? I'd love to know. So, like I say, calm is a very unique experience for each and every one of us. And one of the things that I do notice and have observed is that our sense of calm is very strongly linked into our sense of feeling safe and secure. And what helps us feel safe and secure is going to be, again, very, very unique, depending from our DNA, through to our early childhood experiences, through to what we have currently going on in our life day to day right now. All of these factors will play out as to how safe and secure we feel, and therefore how calm we can feel, or that's calm state that we can embody. So, and I say that because our nervous systems as empaths are constantly being stimulated by our own stuff, but also often as an empath, it's by other people's stuff too. So our nervous systems tend to be jangled or stimulated when we aren't feeling so safe, when we aren't feeling so secure. And so just think about this, that we can be holding other people's stuff that's triggering our nervous system, that's interrupting our state of calm, and yet it's not even ours. And this is some of the key distinctions with being an empath, is that some of this will be ours, but some of this will be from other people. So we've got to learn to discern and learn to identify when we've taken on other people's stuff. And often when we remove ourselves and put ourselves in nature, we get more distance away from stuff and other people's stuff. And that can be when we start to get more distinction between what's ours and what's other people's. But again, this is about, you know, this video is about you starting to learn what's your truth in this, what speaks to you, what triggers for you, what resonates for you. And it's so important that we keep bringing this back to ourselves, to our sense of knowing ourselves. So in this video, I'm going to be inviting you to create a list of spaces, of places and people that help you to embody this sense of calm, both inner and external calm. Because like I say, the power is knowing what's true for you. So let's start with this idea of just outlining quickly how we may know that we're not feeling calm. Sometimes it's very, very clear, it's very obvious. Other times less so. So again, remembering that our DNA, our previous life experiences, our current life experiences will all be having an impact on this at any given time. But many people will know that they're out of feeling calm because they'll feel this sort of knot, this tension, the butterflies or churning in the solar plexus stomach area. And they may be experiencing anxiety, feeling restless, irritated, or anxious and overwhelmed, or could even be feeling very snappy, angry, even aggressive. And these senses, I mean, just hearing those words, you know that they can be quite a far shift away from these states of calm. And when we're in these places, in these states of being, it can be very difficult to find our focus, to concentrate, and we can feel very easily distracted by things. And when we're in these states of being, then that has a really big impact on how we start to feel. We can feel very unclear, and that can affect us feeling confident in making decisions. So we start to become very indecisive. And maybe we've got these feelings of feeling unsafe or insecure, feeling chaotic, rushed, hurried, feeling up against it, against time, workload, expectations from others. And this can affect us physically, where we find it very difficult to switch off or be able to get great sleep, to be able to rest and rejuvenate. We might be feeling very tense, often as we try to control what's going on in our lives. As soon as we start to feel out of control, we can start to not only mentally grip and cling to things, but we can mimic that in our body too with this tension. So we can start to get restrictions within the body as well. And we might notice that our breathing starts to change. Often it starts to become more shallow, more rapid. And we can find it harder to really listen to what our body's trying to tell us. So we might notice, for example, that we're feeling excessively hungry, or that we are perhaps even just not aware that we might be hungry. Or another one, our body can start to give us food cravings because we're using up so much energy that it starts to request like caffeine and sugar, these stimulants, or maybe comfort food and carbs, cakes, pastries, that sort of things. And the other thing that can be a really big indicator that we're not feeling calm is this restlessness to keep going to our phone, to be endlessly scrolling through things like social media. It becomes like an addiction that we know that we need to put our phone down, but yet we can't. Any of those sound familiar? So how would we know when we are feeling calm? Well, for me, this is a very steady, stable energy when we're in this calm state. So we tend to have much calmer, easier, rhythmical breathing, tends to be a lot more deeper, feeling like we've caught our breath quite literally. We tend to be much more present and available in the moment. So we're much more engaged in conversations or with our environment that's around us. We show up, we're present, we engage, we listen, we respond. It's a much clearer place to be when we're feeling calm. We can find it much easier to focus, and that combination of things feeling clearer, better concentration, greater focus, that leads us often to feeling more confident. And that confidence then helps us to be more decisive in our lives, to take the action that we need, even if that action is stillness. We find that we're better able to rest when we're feeling calm and have better quality sleep. Even that sensation of noticing when we're hungry or when we're full, we've got easier ability to listen to what our body is trying to tell us. And we're less likely to get hooked on those sort of addictive distractions, scrolling through our phone. And I've already mentioned this, but there is a radiance around calm, a magnetism. You tend to find those people that others are drawn to you, drawn to your energy. So, and I think overall it's fair to say, embodying that sense of calm, it's a much more open space to be in, open-hearted. It's a much more comfortable space to be in to navigate your day. So with that in mind, how do we cultivate more of this this calm within us? Well, to do this, I recommend as empaths that we create time and space in our day to come into these spaces with the places and people that really help to allow us to enter into these calm states. So what might that look like for you? I'll share some of the things that I know I found helpful, but these are just coulds. Remember, this is a unique journey. These are just ideas and prompts to get you thinking about what is most helpful for you. So, for example, I love walking. Walking, there's something about the pace, the rhythm of it is something that I find is very soothing. It's available to me almost every day, and is something that, whether I'm doing an amble or a power walk into town, is something that allows me to enter into a calmer state of being. For me, hanging out with my cat, I know I've laughed a lot during lockdown that she has become my BFF, but you know, I've always enjoyed hanging out with my animals. They are so important and precious to me, as I know that they are to many of you. And there's a simplicity, isn't there, to being with our animals. They can often be less complicated relationships than perhaps some of our human relationships. And I think anything that's furry is always going to be a winner here as well, aren't they? So that's something that I know I really enjoy time with my furry friends. Likewise, being at home, hanging out with my hubby, these are very calming places for me, and a very calming person, like I say, is my husband. Now, I wouldn't be a yin yoga teacher without sharing the benefits of yin. This is something that I am finding more and more helpful as we've gone through such a turbulent time over the last year. I have found myself, as we're beginning to open up, needing to create more spaces where my body can step into a very calm way of being, allowing myself to come into deeper connection with myself, as well as being able to let go and surrender deeply into each posture and each pose. It's such a tonic for my nervous system, and therefore helps me rest as well as have amazing sleep. And I know that many people who are more sensitive, yin is a great form of yoga to help them reset. So if you haven't checked it out yet, then I would strongly recommend checking it out. It may not be for you, but it may be something incredible too. So gift yourself an hour and come along to class. There are other things, other yogas or other exercises that, I'll be honest, in the moment, I'm not feeling calm, like a vinyasa class or a HIIT class or going for a run. But afterwards, that sense of calm that comes over my body is incredible. So that might be something for you to consider. It's not always during the event, it can be after it too. Certainly spaces and places like being in the sea, mountains, forest are just fantastic to help reset. I think that being away from people, that being away from electromagnetic stress, radiation, computers, pollution, towns is so good to help regulate the nervous system, but also create that sense of calm. But likewise, I often have gone into places of worship or churches. Even though I'm not religious, I do find these sacred spaces an incredible energy to be held in and vibration to be in. They feel very restorative for me, very calming. And that might be something to think about too. Likewise, certain countries and places. So for example, Ibiza really resonates for me, and I find it super calming considering it is known as a dance capital of the world. There is such a different vibe that goes on in Ibiza that when I am in that country and on that island, I feel a deep sense of peace and of calm and feeling at home. And then there's the things like certain music that you listen to. I know I'm listening to a guy called Harrison Storm at the moment, and I'm loving his work. He could be worth you checking out on Spotify. But likewise, you will, I'm sure, have your own music that you love and adore. And then hanging out with my nearest and dearest. I love hanging out with family and friends, so long as it's balanced also with some time for me to be able to have some time out, some alone time. And there's something to also think about what other things may be helpful. So for me, being around a fire, whether that be the wood burner in the house or being around campfires, they're really calming environments for me. And there's something about that element of fire that is really soothing. Have a think about what might be also supportive for you in those forms of elements. And then finally, something that I've noticed calming me and also for others is when somebody says me too. If you ever notice that if you're going through a particularly difficult time or you've got just some stuff going on, that when somebody, you speak to them or you read a book and somebody goes, me too, what you've experienced or gone through, I've gotten too. We might have different experiences of that event, but yet there's also the shared collective. And that can be so deeply cathartic and calming to have that reassurance. So calmness can come from all these different angles, from all these different ways. Now is the time for you to find out what may be yours. So I suggest you grab a paper and pen and either at the end of this video or make time at another time to look and explore what are your calm spaces, places and people. Write a list and then pin it up somewhere you can see it. And each day make a commitment to have some time in those experiences, one of them, because calm is like a muscle that needs flexing every day. And the more we can be in a space of calm, the more we get to reap the rewards and the benefits of it. And so us as empaths do need this space to come back into, this sense of calm. And as I've been talking, I would love to know what's come up for you, what's resonated. What are your calm spaces, places and people? Do drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. So from my heart to yours, as we close up this video, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming on this journey. And I wish you happy investigating your calm spaces, places and people. Don't forget, leave a comment below to let us know what these are, how you found this video. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye.